38% of the surface water is fit for use. Valid point. False is true. Tributaries are made up of dash and dash. Well done. Rivers and streams is the right choice, which is not a phase of the water cycle. Correct. Transportation is the right answer, which does not require constant heating. Well reasoned. Evaporation is the correct choice. What leads to the formation of acid rain? Right again. Air pollution is a valid answer. True or false, water is a polar molecule. Good thinking. True is the right answer. How much of Earth's water is salt water? Solid response. 97% is a valid choice. Water is made up of nitrogen and oxygen. You're right. False is the correct answer. Which of the following is aquatic plant? Nice work. You chose duckweed, and it is correct. Drinking dash water is good for health. Smart move. Clean is an accurate answer. Groundwater will not be depleted due to. Smart pick. Afforestation is the correct choice. Cutting an orange is a physical change. Exactly. True makes sense, and it is right choice. Where is most water found on the Earth? Nicely done. In the ocean is a solid answer. What is the largest ocean in the world? Nice selection. Pacific is the correct and valid answer. Leave the tap open while brushing teeth. Excellent choice. False is the right answer. What do you mean by water conservation? Great job. To save water is the accurate answer. We need to drink dash glasses of water. Right choice. 7-8 is the best answer. Are there different types of lightning? Correct response. Yes is the most accurate answer. How much fresh water is there on Earth? Strong choice. 2.6% is the right answer. How many stages involves in water cycle? You got it. Your choice 3 is right. Where is most of the fresh water frozen? Sharp thinking. All of the above is the right choice. Which gas is used in controlling fires? Clear logic. Your choice carbon dioxide is sound and 100% true. Why should we do rainwater harvesting? Excellent. To save water is a brilliant choice. Burning wood to ash is an example of a. Bravo. Chemical change is the answer. Most of Earth's water is in which form? You chose liquid, and it is correct. Smaller stream that feeds into a river. On track. Tributary is the correct answer. One dash is called the universal solvent. Great thinking. Water is the right choice. What is the chemical formula for water? Perfect. H2 is the correct choice. The path that a stream or river flows? Well picked. Channel is the correct answer. Why is water required for agriculture? Good job. Your answer, irrigation, works well here. Factors causing shortage of water are: valid point, all is true. The average salinity of the oceans is. Great thinking. 35 parts per thousand is the right choice. Hydrologic cycle is the other name for. Right choice. Water cycle is the best answer. Which one is the main source of water? Nicely done. Rain is a solid answer. Which watershed is Atlanta located in? Excellent. Chattahoochee watershed is a brilliant choice. Streams and oceans are the examples of. Well done. Surface water is the right choice. Rivers, springs, and aquifers are all. Perfect. Sources of fresh water is the correct choice. Water in its gas form is called dash. Smart pick. Water vapor is the correct choice. Which is the opposite of condensation? Well reasoned. Evaporation is the correct choice. When is celebrated as World Water Day? Nice selection. March 22 is the correct and valid answer. What is water used for in agriculture? Bravo! Irrigation is the answer. We are alive because of water and air. Good job. Your answer true works well here. Mountains are not the source of water. Solid response. True is a valid choice. The amount of space between particles. Right again. Porosity, pore space is a valid answer. Match the correct answer. Melting point. You got it. Your choice, solid to liquid, is right. Where 97% of Earth's water is stored. Great job. Seawater is the accurate answer. The example of brackish water is dash. Strong choice. Seawater is the right answer. Drinking dirty water can make us dash. Sharp thinking. Sick is the right choice. Permanent hardness can be removed by. Correct. Addition of washing soda is the right answer. How much of Earth's surface is water? Excellent choice. 3-4 is the right answer. How much water does a human body has? Well picked. 70% is the correct answer. The water that fills lakes and rivers. Exactly. Surface water makes sense, and it is right choice. A drawing that shows where places are. Correct response. Map is the most accurate answer. What is the chemical symbol of water? Nice work. You chose H2O and it is correct. Where is most of Earth's fresh water? You're right. Glaciers is the correct answer. Tides help in generating electricity. On track. True is the correct answer. Photosynthesis is the process of dash. Good thinking. Making food is the right answer. Earth's surface covered with water is. Clear logic. Your choice 71% is sound and 100% true. Dash can be used to make water clean. You chose water filter, and it is correct. The largest tsunami ever measured was? Smart move. 150 m high is an accurate answer. Amphibious can live in water and land. Well reasoned. True is the correct choice. How much water do humans need per day? Correct response. 2 liters per day is the most accurate answer. An example for deliquescent substance? Excellent choice. Fecal 3 is the right answer. What parts of the body contain water? Well done. All of the above is the right choice. Water's ability to stick to glasses. Nice selection. Adhesion is the correct and valid answer. Water can form drops because of dash. You're right. Cohesion is the correct answer. The human body contains -% water. Clear logic. Your choice 70% is sound and 100% true. Dash does not dissolve in the water. Right again. Pepper powder is a valid answer. Combing hair does not require water. You got it. Your choice true is right, which is not a form of condensation. Strong choice. Rain is the right answer. Which of the following is a step well? Correct. Bioli is the right answer. State of matter that includes steam. Good thinking. Gases is the right answer. People dig dash to get groundwater. Sharp thinking. Wells is the right choice. Our drinkable water is found in dash. Smart move. Rivers, lakes and glaciers is an accurate answer. The largest tsunami waves travels at. Nice work. You chose more than 700 km per pra and it is correct. Globus salt and washing soda are? Perfect. Decahydrate is the correct choice. In how many states does water exist? Great job. 3 is the accurate answer. The movement in the ocean can cause. Exactly. All of the above makes sense and it is right choice. Dash changes water into water vapor. Well picked. Condensation is the correct answer. Water is known as the universal dash. Smart pick. Solvent is the correct choice. What is the freezing point of water? Great thinking. 0 degrees Celsius is the right choice. Volume of liquid is measured by dash. You chose Cusick, and it is correct. Where would you find brackish water? Excellent. Estuaries is a brilliant choice. Salt which is present in ocean water. Solid response. Sodium chloride is a valid choice. How much water do you lose each day? Good job. Your answer 2 to 3 quarts works well here. How much percentage is groundwater? Nicely done. 31% is a solid answer. Dash of water is not used for drinking. Bravo. C is the answer. In which activity we use more water? Valid point. Watering fields is true. Aqueous solutions are classified as on track. Dilute and concentrated solutions is the correct answer. Water pollution dash potable water. Right choice. Decreases is the best answer. Teeth and skeleton have dash water.
Sharp thinking. 2% is the right choice.
We can find water below the ground.
Good job. Your answer true works well here.
Most water can be found in the dash.
Right choice. Ocean is the best answer.
Water has its own color and taste.
You're right. False is the correct answer.
Most liquid fresh water is found in.
Correct response. Underground is the most accurate answer.
Most of Earth's fresh water is dash.
Perfect. Frozen is the correct choice. In dash process, water vapor forms. Good thinking. Evaporation is the right answer. Water must be dash before drinking.
Nice selection. Cleaned is the correct and valid answer. What happens when there is no rain?
You chose drought. And it is correct.
Water can be changed to ice on dash.
Well reasoned. Cooling is the correct choice.
Capillary action occurs due to dash.
Nice work. You chose all of the above, and it is correct.
Water is considered a dash resource.
Well picked. Renewable is the correct answer.
When blue vitriol is heated gently.
Smart move. It turns white is an accurate answer.
International Year of Freshwater is?
Excellent choice. 2003 is the right answer.
High ground between two watersheds.
Solid response. Divide is a valid choice.
Chalk powder is insoluble in water.
Bravo. True is the answer.
Water is called a universal solvent.
Correct. True is the right answer.
All water in a watershed flows dash.
Well done. Downstream is the right choice.
Dash is the basic need of our life.
Excellent. Water is a brilliant choice.
The water cycle has no start or end.
Nicely done. True is a solid answer.
We use groundwater from wells for.
Clear logic. Your choice drinking is sound and 100% true.
Collecting rainwater is called dash.
Smart pick. Rainwater harvesting is the correct choice.
Osmotic pressure depends upon.
You got it. Your choice concentration of solute is right.
Germs and bacteria are destroyed by.
Great thinking. Both and is the right choice.
A kind of land with a special shape.
Strong choice. Landform is the right answer.
Drinking water should be stored in.
Right again. Covered and clean container is a valid answer.
How will save water while bathing?
Valid point. Using bucket and mug is true.
The air around ice has dash in it.
Great job. Water vapor is the accurate answer.
When ice melts, its density dash.
Exactly. Increases make sense, and it is right choice. Ganga Action Plan was launched in. On track. 1986 is the correct answer.
Surface tension occurs due to dash.
Well reasoned. Cohesion is the correct choice. Land containing much soil moisture.
Great thinking. Wetland is the right choice.
Which is the purest form of water? Well picked. River is the correct answer. A colloid is a homogeneous mixture. Correct response. False is the most accurate answer. Example of cold ocean current dash. Sharp thinking. Labrador is the right choice. Water cycle is also called as dash.
Great job. Hydrological cycle is the accurate answer.
The water cycle is driven by dash.
Excellent choice. Sun and gravity is the right answer.
Lakes and rivers are fresh water. Nice work. You chose true and it is correct. Japanese word for harbor waves.
Bravo. Tsunami is the answer.
Lemon will dash in a salty water. Right choice. Float is the best answer. Plants do not need water to live. Correct. False is the right answer. A water is known as a dash molecule. Smart move. Polar is an accurate answer. Floods cause extensive damage too. You chose all of the above. And it is correct. Epsom salt and green vitriol are. Perfect. Heptahydrate is the correct choice. We all are dash because of water. Right again. Alive is a valid answer. All water eventually empties into. On track. An ocean is the correct answer. Where is the ozone layer located? You're right. Stratosphere is the correct answer. Water is a what type of resource? Clear logic. Your choice renewable resource is sound and 100% true. Groundwater is actually rainwater. Excellent. True is a brilliant choice. Boiling kills germs in the water. Valid point. True is true. Surface tension is only found in. Strong choice. Liquids is the right answer. Without water, there is no dash. Smart pick. Life is the correct choice. What is a synonym for watershed? Good thinking. Drainage basin is the right answer. Bedrock is impermeable by water. Nicely done. True is a solid answer. We dig wells to get groundwater.
You got it. Your choice true is right.
Gallon is also a measure of dash. Solid response. Volume of liquid is a valid choice. 3 states of water found on Earth. Good job. Your answer solid, liquid and gas works well here. We must not drink lots of water. Well done. False is the right choice. Human body has -% of water. Nice selection. Senti is the correct and valid answer. Water exists in how many states? Exactly. 3 makes sense and it is right choice. Wide mouth of a river with tides. Sharp thinking. Estuary is the right choice. World Water Day is celebrated on.
Nicely done. 22 March is a solid answer. Dash cannot live without water.
Right choice. All of these is the best answer. How does the water cycle begin?
Nice work. You chose with the sun's energy, and it is correct. How is water supplied in cities?
Well picked. By pumps and pipes is the correct answer.
Dash provides energy to liquid. Smart move. Heat is an accurate answer.
The dash is the end of a river. Excellent. Mouth is a brilliant choice.
Is rain a source of pure water?
Great thinking. True is the right choice.
Water covers Earth's surface by.
Smart pick. 70% is the correct choice. Jog Falls has. Nice selection. Fresh is the correct and valid answer.
Who is the author of the story?
Good job. Your answer, Jared Siemens, works well here.
Natrolite is an example of dash. Solid response. Natural zeolite is a valid choice.
Rainwater can be collected in.
Excellent choice. Both is the right answer. What is the genre of the story?
On track. Informational text is the correct answer. Who is the father of physiology?
You chose Stefan Hales. And it is correct.
March 22 is celebrated as World. You're right. Water Day is the correct answer.
Streams and rivers are made of.
Valid point. Freshwater is true.
Dash dissolves easily in water. You got it. Your choice, salt, is right. Precipitation is in the form of.
Exactly. All of these make sense and it is right choice.
Dash is a source of salty water.
Right again. Ocean is a valid answer.
What is water's freezing point? Correct. Zoc is the right answer. Steam is also a form of water.
Well done. True is the right choice.
Water is used to put out fire. Correct response. True is the most accurate answer.
Adding dash can make ice melt.
Perfect. Heat is the correct choice.
Identify the sources of water.
Bravo. All of the above is the answer.
What is the universal solvent?
Strong choice. Water is the right answer.
It does not dissolve in water. Good thinking. Insoluble is the right answer.
Cyclonic rain is also known as.
Clear logic. Your choice, frontal rain, is sound and 100% true. These are the sources of water. Well reasoned. All of the above is the correct choice. What can be polluted or dirty?
Great job. Both is the accurate answer.
Earth is known as dash planet. Correct. Blue is the right answer.
What happened if it stopped raining?
Valid point. Drought is true.
What are the states of matter?
Excellent choice. Solid, liquid, and gas is the right answer.
What does a watershed include?
Exactly. All of the above makes sense and it is right choice.
Animals require water for dash.
You're right. Drinking is the correct answer. Amount of water covering Earth. Excellent. 71% is a brilliant choice.
We only use water for drinking.
Smart pick. False is the correct choice.
The ocean currents may be dash.
Well picked. Both A and B is the correct answer.
Water is not useful for human.
Correct response. False is the most accurate answer.
The collection of rainwater is.
Good job. Your answer, rainwater harvesting, works well here.
Ocean water is calm and still. Clear logic. Your choice false is sound and 100% true.
Water in our tap comes from a.
Well done. River, lake or well is the right choice. Surface water is lost through. You got it? Your choice evaporation is right.
Dash carry water to our home.
Great thinking. Pipes is the right choice.
Is water a universal solvent?
Strong choice. Yes is the right answer.
Unscramble the letters.
Ave? Smart move. River is an accurate answer.
Dash will float in the water.
Well reasoned. Leaf is the correct choice.
Polluted water can cause dash.
Perfect. Diarrhea is the correct choice. Heavy objects float on water. Great job. False is the accurate answer.
Dash bonds form between ions.
Good thinking. Ionic is the right answer.
There are two states of water.
On track. False is the correct answer.
The phase scale is a range from.
Nice work. You chose year 14 and it is correct.
When does evaporation happen?
Solid response. Liquid to gas is a valid choice.
Dash liquid mixes with water.
You chose milk and it is correct.
When water dash dew forms.
Right choice. Condenses is the best answer.
Which is considered neutral?
Right again. pH of 7 is a valid answer.
Solutions are dash mixtures.
Nicely done. Homogeneous is a solid answer.
Saline water is salty water.
Sharp thinking. True is the right choice.
The residue of Kusa 452 is.
Nice selection. Kosophore is the correct and valid answer.
An example of solute is dash.
Bravo. Sugar is the answer.
Dash forms water on cooling.
Smart pick. Condensation is the correct choice.
What would you rather drink?
Right again. Fresh water is a valid answer.
What is the color of water?
On track. Colorless is the correct answer.
What causes surface tension?
Good job. Your answer, hydrogen bonds, works well here.
Water exists in dash forms.
Well done. 3 is the right choice.
We should drink dash water.
Excellent choice. Clean is the right answer.
Where does water come from?
Correct response. Rain is the most accurate answer.
This is not a form of water.
Nicely done. Fog is a solid answer.
Water is essential for dash.
Solid response. Life is a valid choice.
Rain is what form of water?
Great job. Liquid is the accurate answer.
Huge tidal waves are called. Strong choice. Tsunami is the right answer.
Evaporation is slow in dash.
Bravo! Rainy season is the answer.
Name a place to obtain salt.
Excellent. Seawater is a brilliant choice.
The high tides also help in.
Well reasoned. Fishing is the correct choice.
An example of a solution is
Clear logic. Your choice salt and water is sound and 100% true.
Dina and Rana are examples of
You're right. Nucleic acids is the correct answer.
percentage of land on Earth.
Valid point 29.
crocodile is a dash animal.
Smart move. Amphibious is an accurate answer.
Ice is lighter than water.
Exactly. True makes sense, and it is right choice.
Weather occurs in the dash.
Right choice. Atmosphere is the best answer.
Another name of lotus stem.
Good thinking. Lotus cucumber is the right answer.
Rainwater can be used for
Sharp thinking. Washing is the right choice. How we can save the water.
Great thinking. By rainwater harvesting is the right choice.
What does potable mean?
Perfect. Safe to drink is the correct choice.
Find the correct spelling.
You chose harvesting, and it is correct.
Rusting is an example of
You got it. Your choice chemical weathering is right.
Yamuna is in which state?
Well picked. Delhi is the correct answer.
plasmolysis occurs due to
Nice work. You chose exosmosis, and it is correct.
Tsunami is a type of dash.
Nice selection. Wave is the correct and valid answer.
boiling makes water dash.
Correct. Germ-free is the right answer.
A 3D model of the Earth.
Clear logic. Your choice globe is sound and 100% true.
Name some water sources.
Excellent choice.
All of these is the right answer.
The earth is always dash.
Valid point. Changing is true.
Seawater is never still.
Bravo. True is the answer.
Types of ocean movements.
Great thinking. Waves, tides, currents is the right choice.
Which is there more of?
Correct. Non-point source pollution is the right answer.
Water found in lakes is
Right again. Fresh is a valid answer.
examples of melting are
Perfect. Melting of snow is the correct choice.
Huge source of water is well reasoned. Ocean is the correct choice.
surface water is namely You chose permafrost, lakes, rivers, and it is correct. Water breaks in floods.
You got it. Your choice true is right.
Purest form of water is
Well picked. Rainwater is the correct answer.
Rainwater fills up dash. Nice work. You chose ponds and it is correct. Water vapor is a dash. Sharp thinking. Gas is the right choice. Name the longest river.
Right choice. Nile is the best answer.
Dead Sea is located in.
Nicely done. Israel is a solid answer.
Water under the ground.
Great job.
Groundwater is the accurate answer.
Water is used for dash.
Exactly. Bathing makes sense and it is right choice.
We need to save water.
Good job. Your answer true works well here.
The study of the earth. Smart pick. Geography is the correct choice.
Rainwater is kind of.
Good thinking. Distilled water is the right answer.
We use water for dash.
Correct response. All of the above is the most accurate answer.
Why do we need water?
Excellent. To wash cloths is a brilliant choice.
Which water is salty?
Solid response. Seawater is a valid choice.
Find the odd one out.
Well done. Diarrhea is the right choice.
Water vapor is soiled.
On track. False is the correct answer.
The biggest ocean is.
Smart move. Pacific is an accurate answer. Dew is not seen on Earth.
Strong choice. Cloudy day is the right answer. Water is called dash.
You're right. Universal solvent is the correct answer.
A fish lives in dash.
Nice selection. Water is the correct and valid answer.
Oil floats in water.
Well done. True is the right choice.
How do we use water?
Right choice. We drink it is the best answer.
Melting point of ice.
Well reasoned. Degree C is the correct choice.
Main source of water.
Great thinking. Rain is the right choice.
Indira Point was in.
Correct. Andaman and Nicobar Islands is the right answer.
A universal solvent.
On track. Water is the correct answer.
We must dash water.
You chose save, and it is correct.
Solid form of water.
Good thinking. Ice is the right answer.
Oceans are made of.
Good job. Your answer saltwater works well here.
Water has no taste.
Clear logic. Your choice true is sound and 100% true.
Rainwater is pure.
Bravo. True is the answer.
Lakes are made of.
Solid response. Both is a valid choice. Seawater contains.
Right again, 97.3% of salt is a valid answer.
In gas molecules. Strong choice. Move rapidly is the right answer.
High tides help in.
Sharp thinking. All of the above is the right choice.
Pollution has dash.
Valid point. A negative human impact is true.
Water has no dash.
Nicely done. Color is a solid answer.
Water vapor is a...
Exactly. Gas makes sense and it is right choice.
Drinking water is.
Excellent. Transparent is a brilliant choice.
What causes rain?
Smart move. All of the above is an accurate answer. Sources of water.
Correct response. Pond, river, lake is the most accurate answer.
Potable water is.
You're right. Drinkable is the correct answer.
What is Calgon?
Perfect. Sodium hexametaphosphate is the correct choice.
Ice is a dash.
Smart pick. Solid is the correct choice.
Forms of water.
Great job. Both B and C is the accurate answer.
State of water.
Nice selection. Gas, liquid and solid is the correct and valid answer.
Tsunami is...
You got it. Your choice Japanese word is right.
Water is an...
Well picked. Compound is the correct answer.
Dead Sea in.
Nice work. You chose Israel and it is correct.
What is dew?
Excellent choice. Plant sweating is the right answer.
How you will get all these quiz questions in PDF books format.
Nice selection. Contact Narayan Changder on Facebook is the correct and valid answer.